The ground shakes, a thunder that you can feel deep in your bones, and for a second, the world stops. People freeze, confused, as the ocean starts pulling back. The shore begins to disappear, the water retreating like the water from the sea is disappearing. Everyone on the beach was confused, staring, trying to make sense of it. What's happening? Where's all the water going? And suddenly it came. A massive black wall rising from the horizon, moving faster than anything you've ever seen. It was not a wave, it's something far worse. It was growing taller every second, faster, crashing toward the shore like a beast from the depths of the ocean. And boom. The impact is deafening, a sound so loud it feels like the earth itself is cracking open. People started running, but it was too late. There was no escaping it. The wave slams into everything in its path. Buildings, trees, even the people who thought they had time to run. And then, just like that, the beach was gone. The paradise, destroyed. All that was left was chaos and the taste of salt in the air. But what happened next? How did anyone survive such a force? Was anyone even left standing? It was December 2004 when Maria and Enrique planned to have a family vacation. Yeah, the same family vacation, where the family had to go through some disasters. But let me tell you, this time, it's not just the story of a movie, but a real-life story. Enrique and Maria were a hard-working couple, and with their 3 active boys, Lucas, Thomas, and Simon, life was good. You know how it is, work, family, and stuff, but they needed a reset, a real escape. And honestly, 3 boys can be tiresome. So, what better way to do that than with a family vacation? So, they decided on Thailand, a place they had heard so much about, with its beaches, crystal clear waters, and a chance to relax. And to be honest, they will get a lot of water, but not in a relaxing way. Unaware of the future, the kids were excited. They were just happy to have a family vacation, away from school, away from everything. Now, talking about the kids, we can't move forward without having an introduction, right? So Lucas was the oldest one, and like any other elder sibling, he was responsible one, always making sure his younger brothers were okay. And Thomas? Well, he was the exact opposite, the fun one. His only purpose was to keep everyone laughing and on their toes. Just don't give him any responsibility and everything's fine. And the youngest ones are always the curious ones. And so was Simon, who was always busy asking questions, his eyes wide open to the world around him. So, the family had booked a beachfront resort, quiet, peaceful, just what they needed. The plan was simple: enjoy the food, take in the culture, and soak up the sun. Everything changed within minutes. They didn't even spend the 2 whole days and the storm was already there to meet them. Out of nowhere, the ground started to shake. At first, everyone was confused about what was happening, but something was definitely off. The ocean, which had been peaceful just moments before, began pulling away from the shore. The water receded, fast, as if it was being sucked back into the sea. It felt all wrong. They should have run, but they didn't. They had no idea what was coming. No one did. First, the ground started shaking. It wasn't like a normal earthquake. It felt like the earth was waking up from a nap, groaning and stretching. The whole place started rumbling. The kind of rumble that goes deep into your bones and sends a chill down your spine. You know that feeling when something's wrong, but you have no idea what? Yeah, that. Then the ocean did something strange. It pulled back, but not like a tide going out for a swim. No, this was faster, way faster. People started sinking into the sand as the shore disappeared beneath their feet. Some folks turned around and noticed the water pulling back, like it was running away from something. The rest? They just stared, clueless, like a bunch of tourists who didn't get the memo. Suddenly, they saw it. A dark, monstrous line appeared on the horizon. Slowly at first, like a slow-motion monster movie. But that wall of water, it was growing fast, taller and taller. It was a wave, but not a normal one. It was a beast, a wall of water the size of a building, blotting out the sky. People started running, but it was too late. There was a sound of a hit, and boom! The sound hit like a punch to the chest. It was loud, like the whole world was shaking. You couldn't escape it. It was too fast, too strong. Trees snapped like they were nothing. Buildings fell apart like they were made of paper. And the people? They got tossed around like they were nothing, swept away by the wave in seconds. The nightmare had just begun. Maria didn't stand the chance. Standing nearest to the beach, she was the first one to get swollen by the beast. She was fighting, and not just the water, but also the debris, broken chairs, tables, and God knows what. And to be honest, she didn't have the time to focus on such stuff either. Right now, her only focus was to survive and find her husband and kids. Oh, and talking about the husband. Well, he hugged you can say a rather small piece of wood, and it was not only small, but in the worst condition. But hey, at that moment, it was his lifeline. As he held the wood, his hands were bleeding. Every time he got the chance to breathe, he tried shouting his family's name, but the beast was not ready to let him meet his family yet. So, what could the water do? Well, it dragged him underwater to keep his mouth shut. Shh. Lucas had guts. The waves tossed him like a rag doll, no joke, but he wasn't letting go of that debris. Every time he spotted Thomas, bam, the water pulled him away. He tried shouting, but honestly, the ocean had other ideas, like it was purposely messing with him. I mean, it could get the Worst Villain of the Year award. Then there was Thomas, who was holding on to a floating trunk like it was the last piece of pizza on Earth. Saltwater stung his eyes, but he didn't flinch. He saw Simon floating out there and yelled for him like a maniac. But the ocean just swallowed his voice. He had no idea if Simon had heard. Heck, who even knew if anyone could hear anything over that chaos? But what about Simon? He wasn't crying, he wasn't screaming. He was just holding on to a log, as calm as can be. His little hands gripped it like it was his best friend, and he just watched. You could actually guess by just looking at how traumatized he was. The waves kept coming, slamming into everything. And then the water began to pull back. Everything stopped. Silence. Thank God it's over. But no, that was just the calm before the real chaos. Maria screamed their names, but there was no reply. The silence hit her harder than the waves. What was left? Everything she knew was gone. Enrique finally pulled himself onto a slab of concrete. His body was battered. His mind was scrambled. But he still had one thing: hope. He shouted their names, but the silence around him made the words feel empty. They were alive, but scattered. Finding each other was the next battle. Lucas was still fighting for his life in that water. He spotted a huge tree and grabbed onto it, holding on like he was fighting his siblings for the last snack. As he shouted for his parents, something crazy happened. He saw his mother. Yes, his mother. He didn't waste any time. He swam toward her like it was the Olympics. Together, they fought their way through the mess, but there was nothing left. It was like the whole world had been swallowed by the ocean. But Lucas, being the fighter he was, spotted another massive tree, and the two of them climbed up, clinging to it, waiting for help. And guess what? Help finally showed up. Talk about timing. While Lucas and his mom clung to that tree for dear life, Enrique, determined as ever, was on a mission of his own. He went back to the resort, hoping to find his family. He searched for what felt like forever, a whole day of just searching. Finally, he found Thomas and Simon. You'd think that's where the story gets all happy, right? But nope, this is a real-life story, and real life doesn't care for your happy endings right away. Enrique sent the kids off with the rescue team, hoping they'd be safe. His plan? Meet them at the survivors' camp in the morning. Easy, right? Wrong. The universe had other plans. By the time Enrique made it to the camp, Thomas and Simon were gone. Gone. As in, nobody knows where they are, gone. How's that for bad luck? It was like one giant cosmic joke. But Enrique wasn't about to give up. He did what any dad would do, check every hospital. And guess what? Miracle moment, folks. The vehicle carrying kids to the next camp just so happened to stop at the very hospital where Lucas and Maria were, and where Enrique was. It was like the universe finally remembered to throw the guy a bone. Now they were all at the same hospital. But will they find each other? Well, we'll find out. Yeah, Chapter 5. The Reunion. So, Lucas, being the smart guy he is, thought, hey, I should check the hospital again. Got that gut feeling. And boom, he saw his dad. But hold on, this isn't a Hollywood moment where they run to each other in slow motion. No. Enrique was too far away, Lucas couldn't get there in time. Classic miscommunication, right? But then, like the plot twist you didn't see coming, Thomas and Simon spotted him. And you know what happened next? They ran at each other like they were in a reunion show. Hugs all around, everyone crying. Typical family reunion stuff. Just when things were looking up, guess who popped up to spot them? Enrique. The three of them came together for the biggest group hug you've ever seen. But wait, there's more. Lucas wasn't done yet. He took his brothers and dad straight to his mom, who, despite the injuries, was ready to get surgery. Finally, the family was together. But the story doesn't stop there. After all the chaos, they were transferred to Singapore for Maria's treatment. But for many others, the story didn't end so neatly. Some were still searching. Others lost loved ones they'd never find again. Life's not always about happy endings. Sometimes it's just about holding on to hope and pushing through. So, what do you think you would have done in this situation? Could you survive something like this?